Listen, young
This
fella.
is the fight that you ain't supposed to be.
Let me tell you
fucking
something, young.
man. This
Let me
ain't the
tell you
one that you
something,
supposed
bitch
to
ass
mess with.
nigga. Listen, bitch.
Okay.
You getting fucked up.
We from Brooklyn, we're scrapping, it's part of life. So we happen to be the type of journalists to start a fight. I was raised in Gleason's, I was in the precinct, but I beat the case with my sweet pea defense. You tweaking if you think you beating us. If I have to, I'ma put on Margarito's gloves. I'm in the bar plays like I own it. What you expected? The way I seized the moment, they thought I was epileptic. The fight game can't survive without me. I throw shots that make fighters spit out their mouthpiece. Never days off, only days on. I represent the hood like I'm Trayvon. These moments in boxing are so proper, like when Floyd told Oscar he beat his whole roster. It's our action that speaks the loudest. Though we the sweet scientists, they ain't nothing sweet about us.
This is Ak from Sirius XM, and this is 50.com, and we're here live at the press conference with the boy from Philly, Danny Swift Garcia. Danny, finally the fight is here. This is official. It was announced unofficially, but now it's official. Now, even though you have one of the best resumes in the junior welterweight division, and just as a fight in general, now that Floyd's gone and outside of Pacquiao, still the critics still for some reason call you a cherry pick, at least those that are not experienced in the sport, and even some official guys. Why is it that Danny Garcia doesn't get the credit that you deserve, even though you're one of the best fighters in the world?
To be honest with you, probably because I'm nice, you feel me? I'm nice, and I'm handsome, you know what I mean? I ain't ugly, so I guess people think I'm sweet, you know what I mean?
So I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how to answer for that.
You don't have to answer why you don't get the credit you deserve. You know, you're one of the most popular fighters in the world.
I'm one of the best fighters in the world.
Not only your accolades, popularity. You know, outside of Adrian Broner and Floyd has retired, I would say you the most popular American fighter. You know, which that means that turns into selling tickets and people watch you even though they love to hate you. Do you feel this fight will get you past that hump where people will have to accept it the way they did when you beat Lucas Matisse?
I think in the boxing world, in the boxing world, you know, to the critics and the media, but to like the general public, like I told French Montana I'm fighting Keith Thurman. He was like, "Who's that?"
Right.
So it's like.
Do you
the boxing world, you know what I'm saying? Like they that's how it is, you know what I mean?
Are you frustrated that your father doesn't get the credit he deserves because he obviously a proven trainer. He made a world champion. Even though you're his son, shouldn't take away the fact that he actually made you from scratch.
Exactly.
So does that frustrate you? Do you want him to get the credit he deserves?
At the end of the day, you know, we came in this sport to make money, to be a world champion. So for me to worry about what other people think about us is kind of like a distraction and wasting my time, you know what I mean? Like my job is to train for the fights, whether who likes it or not, you know what I mean? Like it's not my problem. If you like us or you don't like us, that's not our problem, you feel me? But it'd be good for somebody to give him trainer of the year, you know, at least one year, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
As far as
the trainer of the year to me, you know what I'm saying?
As far as accolades, meaning like what a fighter dreams to get, money, homes. I mean, people see you on Instagram. You're in Miami living it up. You have a huge home. I guess somewhere in PA, in-ground pool. How do you stay hungry when you've actually achieved what fighters dream of, even to this point?
At the end of the day, you gotta have the love of the sport. You know, the day I stop loving the sport is the day I stop fighting, you know what I mean? And all those nice things I have, I do have a lot of nice things, but in order to keep it, I gotta stay hungry, I gotta work hard, so that's my motivation. Plus I got a daughter now, so I gotta make sure she good, so.
You want more kids?
Nah, I'm good, man.
No, now lastly, before I go, what do you expect from Keith Thurman on March 4th, and what are you gonna do to make sure whatever he brings doesn't work?
You know, I just got to be ready, mentally and physically. I know he's coming to fight. You know, he's angry. We in his head. So I know we gave him that little extra push he probably needed to wake his ass up.
This is Ak from Sirius XM at the fights, and also from the Sweet Scientist on thisis50.com, and I'm here with Keith One-Time Thurman. Now, Keith, we just press conference just finished. Angel Garcia, he's always animated, but today he was borderline disrespectful, or maybe even disrespectful with you. They feel like they've gotten in your head, and it affect you at some point. It will affect you at some point. How do you feel about that?
It's not gonna affect me. Besides the 3 seconds that I was getting at it with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, man, Garcia's father doesn't get to do nothing but run his mouth. You know what I mean? And he's done it to other fighters before. You know, so we could say that his father's a well-trained shit talker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's got his Instagram following. You know what I mean? Crazy Angel. You know what I mean? He's always doing something crazy. So you know, we expected that, man. But at the end of the day, man,
it's safe to say it's not going to stop, though.
He's not going to stop. He's not going to stop, man. He's gonna be that way. You know, he's prideful, man. He's really prideful about all of Danny's accomplishments, you know, and it hurts him when people don't respect Danny the way that they should respect Danny.
Do you
know?
respect Danny? Why is it that the general public still, for whatever reason, feel that Danny has cherry-picked or hasn't fought good opposition, when in actuality, on paper, he has a better resume than most welterweights out there?
He has a better resume than me as well.
Right.
But one thing about his resume, it is not a welterweight resume.
Right.
If you break down his welterweight resume, it's no longer
But it's only one weight south, and it's still against credible opponents.
It is all against credible opponents. Now, I have never seen a Danny Garcia fight where I said Danny Garcia did not win the fight. You know, I know there are lots of fans that believe Herrera and Lamont Peterson got to him, and he may have got to him a little bit. Herrera took too many punches on the way out. He was fighting the champion. You got to understand what it means to face the champion, and that, you know, when you're coming in as a challenger, how you need to really overcome those rounds so that the judges throw it into your favor. There were some rounds that were too close, and Danny was landing the better power punches. Herrera's best punch in the fight was a jab. They were saying that he was schooling him with a jab. He might have been doing that to a degree, but the jab is not what wins fights. It's not what makes the judge give you the round. It's the power punches that make the judge give you the round. And Herrera doesn't have the same power that Danny does, so that when Danny lands his shots, they're bigger shots, they're better shots, they look like they're doing more damage, regardless if they are or not. And they probably were. But
so you don't buy into that narrative about of Danny not being credible or being a cherry picker. You don't fall into that. You find him as a real threat and a real credible opponent.
The only thing that tainted his name as a cherry picker was when he was the WBC champion and he fought Solka. You know what I mean? That, and then his last fight as well.
Haven't all great champions at some point fought that fight against that type of opponent?
And you're right on in that respect. But he's so young and he's accomplished so much, you expect a little bit more from him. Your standards get risen. The fight fan standards get risen. You know what I mean? But I don't really think that they've done anything wrong. I think it was smart because of Danny's layoff that they needed that warm-up fight, and that they truly did accept this fight. They didn't not accept the fight, but they accepted the fight on their terms. I can't argue with that. I'm happy that I got the fight.
So you feel this is your toughest fight yet? To date in your career, this would be your biggest challenge.
I believe it's my biggest.
I
believe it's my biggest fight, but I always say that there's no such thing as my toughest fight till I've been through it. Till I've been through it. So currently, my toughest fight was Sean Porter. You know, will Danny Garcia truly bring a tougher fight or a bigger challenge than Porter did in the same arena? We'll find out March 4th.
Now, not looking past this fight, but let's say you do get past Danny Garcia, the man in the division, even though he's not a world champion, people are saying that everybody is scared to fight him. People are ducking him. He's the guy to beat, Errol Spence Jr. Should you get past Danny Garcia, do you want that fight? Are you willing to show the people that you are not one of the guys that is ducking Errol Spence?
So it's interesting, right? Look, man, I'm tired of being asked this fucking question, right? So is at the end of the day, he still does need to be built up. And is he a great fighter? I truly see greatness in the young man, right? Has he been fully tested yet? No, but no one's gonna give him the test, right? So the thing is, I'm willing to fight everybody, you know, but the way Floyd is talking about, you know, Thurman's ducking Spence, everyone's ducking Spence, you know, go 4 years ago, everyone ducked me. I was Errol Spence 4 years ago. I was the prospect of the year. I was every award that he's getting, I got. You know what I'm saying? So I know exactly what Errol Spence is going through. The thing is, if that's the best fight, if that's the mega fight, then let it be a mega fight. If that's a mega fight, I'm gonna be honest, this is only
Build it
one
up to that.
career. This is I only have one way. I can only do my career one time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yes, you should build it up.
Right.
Mayweather built up many fights.
Right.
You know what I mean? So from things coming out of his mouth like that, if anything, he should just keep talking about it because he's got a good fan base and following. Y'all can keep talking about it, and we can keep building this fight up, man. I have no problem fighting Errol Spence, but I want to face him.
You want to make the big
biggest
money.
stage.
You want the big
Of
check.
course
So
we want
you
the
could
big.
understand when promoters and fighters and managers pace the fighter, you know, and built big fights instead of like the general public. They want the boxing to shoot their load right away.
And then if we get through Errol Spence, then they're just gonna say that he wasn't ready too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's no pro in that. But I got mad respect for him. I know he's young. I know he's hungry. I know he's ready. My first fight on HBO, I called out Mayweather. Why? Because I was young, I was hungry, and I felt ready. You know what I mean? So I know everything that Errol Spence is going through right now. But, you know, did Floyd fight Manny Pacquiao when people said, Floyd, you should fight Manny Pacquiao? Did Floyd fight Sugar Shane Mosley when people felt like he should have fought Sugar Shane Mosley? No.
Well, there you have it, folks. SiriusXM, this is 50.com. Keith, one-time Thurman.